All right, you guys, I am pre-pooing my hair. It is wash day. I just sectioned this off in the back, and I am running the Nature's Little Secret Fenugreek Detangling Pre-Poo through the back. I only have a little bit left. I'm so sad. I did a pre-poo battle with this Nature's Little Secret and the Just For Me what's it called? Curl piece. And you can see that on my channel if you have not seen it before. I will actually link it in the cards for you. This is a very, very good pre-poo. It is so slimy and it feels so good on the hair. Like instantly it softens the hair. Well, first of all, let me tell you this. Speaking of Just For Me Curl Piece, this is the 5-in-1 Wonder Spray. It is a detangling spray. So instead of spraying my hair with water, I use this spray because number one, it has detangling properties. It also has marshmallow root and castor and flaxseed in it. So it is great for detangling. And also it provides a little bit more moisture than water, right? Because it has all those other moisturizing properties added to it. And then I take the Nature's Little Secret and slowly run it through my hair. I find that if I spray my hair, just dampen it with water or some sort of refreshing spray before I pre-poo and then add a pre-poo, oh my gosh, like the shedded hair just slides right out. It makes it so much easier. It makes my pre-pooing session go faster, and it gets out so much of that detangled hair, and it just sets me up for a great wash day. I pin this up in the back with like just a twist and a very loose bantu knot. And I will proceed to section off the front. And what I have told other people, in case you are new to one of my pre-pooing videos, is that I have 4C hair here right in the top. It is thicker. It is way more kinky than the rest of my hair around the perimeter. So when I section it, look how much shorter it is. Let me see if I can show you. So here is the length of my other hair. This is the 4C part. Because this is such a different texture of hair, this 4C part, it took me a while to realize that it was breaking off so bad because I would section it off in 4 sections and it would just be pulled so tight into one of the sections on the side until it was breaking off. And not just for that reason, but also because the texture is different, I really do have to treat it a little differently. And I wasn't doing that. So by the time I learned what was happening, it had so much breakage and it was in horrible, horrible shape. And I didn't want to cut off all of my hair to even it up with that section. So what I did was just cut it short, and I try to style my hair in the kind of styles that can kind of hide it a little bit. And whenever I look at my hair and think how bad it needs shaping, I know it's because of that short section there that is in the middle. But because it's probably always going to appear shorter because the texture of it, the curls are just so much tighter, I'm just going to have to learn to live with it. And I have accepted that. I've accepted it. It looks weird, but nobody really knows it but me and you. That's it. Nobody else. So I am taking this spray and I am dampening this section because we do not, under any circumstance, want to work on dried hair. Even hair that we're getting ready to wash. You want to make sure your ends are damp and that hair is damp all over, and I can feel the water all the way through this section. I want to be sure to get the roots because if your hair is anything like mine, the roots are very, very thick. Number one, because that is the thickest part of the hair. It's the newer hair, and plus that's where the tangled hair is originating from. It's coming from the roots, right? So when we go to, here's the prepoo. When we go to add this to our hair, we put it on the ends. We want to make that soft and pliable, but as we rub upwards, that shedded hair is coming from the roots. So it's going to be sliding from the roots all the way to the ends, and that is generally where you're going to be pulling it out from the ends of your hair. So I am adding more prepoo on the inside here because this section is so big that some of it won't get this prepoo if I don't section it off. The other alternative is I could have made these sections smaller, but I didn't do that. And so already just running the prepoo through that damp hair, like, it is detangling so much. The ends are just falling loose. The hair is separating, and by me taking my fingers and raking it through from the roots, any shed hair that is on the surface or right there easier to come sliding out of there is just going to slide out. Already, look how the hair is defined with just the prepoo. Like, isn't that awesome? That shows you right there how moisturizing and how softening the prepoo is. Looks great. So again, I am twisting this up, pinning it into a very loose Bantu knot, and then I'm going to go into the other sections. I'm going to finish up my entire head, and I'll come back. Okay, I am going to use this video also, you guys, and give you some what I call wash day tips that will make your wash day a lot smoother, I think. I hope. It has definitely made a difference in mine. So the first one I gave you just in the prior clip. You want to, whenever possible, pre-poo your hair. Now, I know, like for me, if I can, I will pre-poo overnight. Sometimes I will pre-poo for a few hours, and I don't always have that amount of time, as I know you don't either sometimes. So the other alternative to pre-pooing is to pre-poo your hair, whether that's with a store-bought prepoo or oils. I have in this oil blend the 3 oils that research has shown is known to be able to penetrate through the hair shaft. There is olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. And I also added sweet almond oil. There's a good bit of sweet almond oil in there, and castor oil. And so you don't have to worry about the measurements. Put an equal amount, you know, put 2 or 3 tablespoons of each to make it easier. Maybe if there's one oil you prefer over the other, you can use a little bit more of that one. But dampen the hair first, whether you use the oil or the prepoo. It will help the prepoo or the oil smoother your hair a lot faster. You will get a lot more shedded hair out if you choose to do that. Also, during this prepoo time, I use this time to oil my scalp. I tend to have drier scalp, mostly in the winter, not as much in the warmer months. But I take this time because I don't like to oil my scalp when my hair is freshly styled, but this is a good time to do it because this oil is going to pre-poo down into my scalp, whether I let it sit overnight or whether I sit, just kind of keep it on my hair covered for a couple hours, or like I'm going to do today. I am going to put this prepoo on, put on a plastic cap, and I'm going to sit under my conditioning cap. Well, I can't talk. I'm going to sit under my conditioning cap for about 30 minutes. It's just like a deep treatment, but I'm doing it on the front end because remember, heat will also help to, I'm looking for a bobby pin. I can't find one. Heat will also help the product to penetrate into your scalp. So I didn't do the last two. So you can also, if you don't have a lot of time, just do that much. Even that little bit will help. Pre-poo, put on a plastic cap and sit under your conditioning cap or a hooded dryer, or even use a hot towel if you don't have access to any of those. Wet a towel, wet a towel, stick it in the microwave to heat it. Literally heat the towel till it's hot to the touch, and then wrap it around your plastic cap on your head. That heat will help to penetrate the products down into the shaft of your hair, which will, as I say, detangle the hair. It's going to make it soft and moisturize from the beginning. So that is my tip about that thus far. I'm trying to think of little things that I've learned along the way that has helped me, that I'm hoping will help you. Pre-pooing with heat if you don't have a whole lot of time. Using a oil for your scalp at this time. Let that oil penetrate down into your scalp while you're pre-pooing. Put your plastic cap on. Sit up under the dryer for about 20-30 minutes. So far, those are my tips. We'll see what happens from here, okay? So far, those are all the tips I can think of up to this point. And as I think of them, I'll probably come back on and just kind of tell you, because I didn't write this down. It just kind of came to me as I was doing it. So it may be all over the place and unorganized, but I will try to organize them a little bit better in the description box or at the end somewhere. Oh, here's one that I did that I thought would be helpful. You know how they make these 8-ounce jars, and sometimes you're just scraping trying to get every little bit out of there. Let me show you what I did in this when I get down to these jars, depending on what the product is. Pre-poo is an easy one. When I get down to the bottom and there's just a little bit product left in there and I can see it but I can't reach it, I will take my hair, clump it up into a ponytail, stick my hair down into this container, and literally just wipe it around in that container to get all that product out of there. Especially these handmade products that cost good money and are so good and you hate to be out of, just like that fenugreek detangling pre-poo. That is a trick to get all the product out of there. If this were a I don't know, a moisturizer or a styler type product, I could also do that, just doing the ends, using my ends to wipe out the last little bit out of there. But definitely in the case of a pre-poo or a deep conditioner, grab an entire section of hair, stick it down in there, and get our money's worth. These products cost good money we work hard for, and we want to be able to take advantage of all of it for all of our hair. So, okay, I am back. I just finished washing my hair, and it made me think, I look so crazy. It made me think about another tip for you guys. If you use a moisturizing shampoo, one that is like a 2-in-1 where it conditions and softens, it cleans your hair, but it also gives you some detangling properties, and you're going to be left with soft hair. That is a wash day. You may not have to use a rinse out conditioner. You certainly can, but if you have a product that gives you all the properties of a conditioner and it still cleans your hair, then what's the point? That's kind of the idea behind the cleansing co-washes. I just used a product that I'm going to show you a little later, and it was one of those that is a cleanser, but my gosh, is so moisturizing. I was able to run that water through my hair, and the force from the shower, just when it hit the section where the pre-poo was, I was able to just slide the tangled hairs out of my head. It was so easy and so good. My hair feels wonderful. So I skipped the rinse out conditioning stage today. And I am going to proceed with my deep conditioner. That is one I definitely won't skip. So today I am going to use the Annabelle's Honey Molasses Conditioning Treatment. I believe, you guys, I bought this probably last year because I believe there's a new label for it this year. And so I must have gotten two because I've definitely used this before, but this one is filled to the rim. It still smells wonderful. It's still nice and thick. It looks good. I don't see any issues with it. It has been, I'm usually a little bit more cautious about the, the homemade, handmade products that, are more natural and use fresh ingredients. So because they don't put all those junky preservatives in there like most companies, the products don't tend to last as long, at least they're not meant to. But if you smell it and you don't see any, get any, whiffs of anything nasty, if it still smells fresh, if it looks fresh, and it's been closed and sealed for the entire time you've had it, I'm going to say, I'm not going to tell you what to do, actually. I would use it just like I'm doing this because it still look just as amazing as when I got it. And it has been sealed up the entire time. But I am positive this is over 6 months old. So I am applying this deep conditioner like I always do. If you've been with me, you know I section it and then I go around the sections. I will split the section and then I will also add a little conditioner in between. I believe in moisturizing my hair. This is my absolutely favorite part of this process. And there is no sensation in the world to me like rinsing it out and feeling how soft and moisturizing it is. And so in order to get that effect, I slather on the conditioner, probably in excess. But as you can tell, I have excess. So I have some that I am trying to use up. And I've decided I'm going to do that. As I've gone through this deep conditioner stash that I'm going through, I am choosing the homemade products, the products that have, that are fresh and handmade with those plant-based and yummy extracts. And I'm going to make it my mission to finish those up first. I don't want any of those to go bad. And those that I've bought from, Sally's or different places, those that have been mass produced, they have ample shelf life that they can probably sit there a little bit longer because they formulate them with preservatives to last that long. So I know that they'll be fine. So I'm going to use this up. Now, first of all, off the bat, this stuff smells so good. It smells so good. It has, and I didn't even tell you the ingredients in it, but just some I remember right off the bat. The reason I even picked it up, it has molasses in it. It has honey. There is castor oil, wheat germ oil, sunflower oil, capric triglycerides, panthenol, silk amino acids. There's hydrolyzed protein, glycerin, fragrance. Did I skip anything? BTMS, and then of course water is the first ingredient. But just putting this on, look how good that looks. Instantly, it is defining my hair, which lets me know it is moisturized even right now. So I can only imagine how good it's gonna feel once I sit up under this heat for a few minutes and rinse it out. Oh, and by the way, heating that prepoo, I forgot that was such a good little hack to pre-pooing quickly. That worked so well. Like, I almost want to say that, geez, it probably worked even better. I think just heating that Prepoo just allows those moisturizing ingredients to soak down into the hair a little bit further. So by the time I got in there and rinsed water over it, like the hair just, I mean, oh, it was so soft. It just slid apart. It detangled. That's probably the fastest detangling session I've had in a long, long time. And again, that shampoo that I use that is so moisturizing and detangling on its own certainly helped. But you ever get like halfway in a session and you already just feel good because every step already so far has gone well? Like the pre-poo went well, the shampooing went well, so well that I can skip conditioning and go straight to deep conditioning. And I am still, you know, feeling for shedded hairs in here, and at any step along the way when I feel them, I will slowly pull them out. And again, we are handling hair like fine silk. You want to be very, very cautious that you don't snag or break any hair because you're in a hurry or in a bad emotional place, because any of those things can cause you to be rougher than you intend to be. So I am going to finish adding this deep conditioner. I am probably not going to come back on again unless something stands out during the deep conditioning process that I know is a tip or a hack that I want to tell you about. But otherwise, I will just finish this up and I will come back to continue this styling process, okay? I am coming back on just to do a quick shout out, you all. If you have not gotten your hands on some Annabelle's deep conditioner or one of these masks, don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Like, there is gold and diamonds in this stuff, and you need to experience this. My gosh, my hair feels so good from just the application of the conditioning treatment. I used this, I believe one of these when I first got it last year or so, and I forgot how good it was. This applies probably better than any deep conditioner I have used definitely within the last couple of months. Like, God, this stuff is so good, and it has such good ingredients in it. This silk amino acids, just enough to take it over the top, right? Because all these other ingredients in are already moisturizing and silkening, and then she popped that amino acid in there, and it's like over the edge slippery. So I just want to plug this one more time. I talked about them before, and so if you have not seen my video on Annabelle's Perfect Blend, then check the Black History feature playlist. I don't remember exactly what day it was. I don't even remember if this was even in that particular video, but go to her website, follow her on Instagram. I think she's having a sale right now in February. It may be over by Valentine's Day or so, but you got to try these deep conditioning masks. You've got to try them. So as I have just rinsed out the deep conditioner in my hair, which feels amazing, my hair feels amazing. Like, there are just very few times when like I say, the entire process goes so good and your hair feels so silky and so soft. That deep conditioner is awesome. So I am actually going to continue the wash day process, but I thought about another tip I wanted to show you. In the prior picture, you saw me sitting with my heating cap on, and I won't pick it back up. You saw it. And so what I wanted to show you was that I don't know what you use for heat for your deep conditioner. I used to sit under a hooded dryer. I've actually tried several things. I have steamed before. I have bought the microwavable heat cap that you put in the microwave and put on for heat. I have more recently used just a hooded dryer. I will put on my plastic cap, sit under the hooded dryer, and then I decided to try that cap, the heating cap there. And you guys, that heating cap makes a humongous difference. I don't have to sit in the heat as long, and it works better because say like a hooded dryer, here's your head, the hooded dryer is say here, so all this open space around your head is the air, the heat that's coming out of the dryer is just, I want to say it's wasted, but it is blowing out past your head. Yes, there's some where it's blowing on your head, but a lot of it is blowing outside your head. When you put on that conditioning cap, it seals in around the perimeter of your head, and so all the heat that comes through there goes directly to your hair. So none of the heat is getting lost, and your hair is getting like this extra, it's not extra heat, but just the I guess the intensity of the heat is just directly onto your head. So I don't have to sit under there as long, and I definitely don't use it as hot as I would under a hooded dryer because it's on my head and I can't stand to be hot. I can have it on warm, I can have it on cool, but something about that heat just getting directly onto my head, the heat is getting into my hair strands that much easier, that much faster, so my deep conditioners are able to penetrate faster. So I have done every one of the heating processes that people have said to do for heat, and I definitely like this heating cap best. Now I look crazy in it. You put it on and it blows all up high, and you have to tie it under your chin to make sure it doesn't fall off, and it is really, really silly, but I'm convinced that somebody's going to come out with a better way to do that, but it really does work better. So let me know down below. I'll be curious to know, what do you do to heat the heat conditioners during your heat conditioning process? Do you use the microwavable cap? Do you, just sleep in your deep conditioner? What is your process, and how do you get heat to absorb into your hair? I'm just curious, but I thought I would share that while I was thinking about it. Going forward now, I've just finally decided I am going to go forth with the Honey's Handmade Wash Day. I'm going to use the coconut water leave-in condition, and I am going to use the, oh gosh, the last one I just got. I don't even have it here in front of me. I'm going to use the peach, ginger, and quinoa protein sealing butter and the curl smoothie. Remember I showed you these not long ago? There's a part of me that don't want to open these because they're still sealed and they're still brand new, and I do have others that I could use that are opened, but I don't want to use anything that I've used recently either. So I'm debating. I'm going to take a few minutes and decide if this is what I want to do or not. And if it is, then I probably won't come back on. I'll just get started putting this in and proceed with my styling. Okay? You guys, I said in the prior clip that I was going to use the Honey's Handmade peach, ginger, and I can never remember this name. Peach, ginger, and quinoa protein smoothie and sealing butter. As you can see, I am coming on and my exuberance is gone because I was having such a great wash day. Everything up to this point has been wonderful. I felt so good about it. I added the leave-in and a little bit of olive oil, and I tied my hair, to the side in the twist so that it could air dry. And now I'm coming back, and I started to use this smoothie and the sealing butter, and it was the first time I'd opened it because it was sealed up. I did the back, the nape area of my hair with it, and then I stopped. This is one of those I'm a little disappointed about. Um, it is very runny. It is very, very thin. Um, See that? It is not even white because it's not that thick, but it's kind of opaque, and it is so light. I felt like I wasn't putting on anything. It's very hard to determine how much to use. So I kept going, and I thought I would just, come up a little further to see how the other parts of my hair would react to it. And I had so much product on the outside of the twist. It's just way too hard to determine how much is enough because it is so thin. And the other thing I noticed was that it wasn't laying my hair down. So you know how you go to twist your hair, and after the twist you notice that there's frizz on it already, so you rub it down, rub the product in, and of course this is not what happened with this. I actually switched products, and then as you do that you still have frizz all up on the hair. That means that the product is not laying your cuticle your cuticle layer down. So this product was, I guess it was going in my hair, but of course my hair is thicker. I know it likes thicker products, and I guess by the name Smoothie, I just assumed this one was going to be a lot thicker. It is probably the thinnest, most liquidy thing I have ever tried from them. Like anything. It is more liquid than the co-wash. It is more liquid than a leave-in. And it was not allowing the cuticle layer of my hair to lay down. That meant the frizz that I was getting was going to be even more frizzy when I took it down. And not only was it going to be more frizzy, it was not going to be moisturized. So after using the smoothie though, remember there's a sealing butter, and I went to put the sealing butter on top of the smoothie, thinking if there's not enough moisturization in the smoothie, I'll just put the sealing butter on top. The sealing butter has some butter in it, and it had some really good ingredients in it, so I'll just top it with that. Well, that was even worse, because let me finish this up and I'm going to show it to you. The sealing butter is such a thick butter. Now again, I like thick products, but this one has no smoothing properties at all. It looked exactly like, I mean, when I picked it up, I could literally pick it up in my hand. It felt like, it reminded me of like a powdered butter. I know it doesn't even make sense. That the consistency of it looked like powder. It felt like powder. I couldn't get it to smooth. I couldn't even get it to, absorb and turn into oil, because I thought, okay, it's been in a cold room, so I'll just get it to emulsify a little bit, and then I'll just use the oil to seal. Well, I tried that for the longest by rubbing it into my fingers. It never turned to oil, and then I decided, you know what, I'll just heat it. And so I took it to my microwave and I heated it for 10 seconds. It didn't emulsify. I stuck it back in for another 10 seconds. It didn't emulsify. All it was doing was getting warm, but the texture never changed. So I could not spread it. I could not count on it to seal in moisture, because I don't think the smoothie was giving me moisture. So let me show it to you. Show you what I mean. Boy, the devil's busy. I was just doing so good with this wash day. Here's the butter. So you see how it just looks like a really thick butter in there, but when I take it off, see if I can get my hand still enough for you to see it. I hope it'll focus. Be still, finger. Like, it just looks like, it doesn't even look like butter at this point. It's not whipped. It's It just looks like a powdered butter. I don't even know what else to describe it as. It looks just like the color of shea butter. The ingredients in here is peach extract, ginger root, quinoa, shea, olive, raw honey, argan, sea buckthorn, flaxseed, horsetail, and chamomile. So peach extract is the first ingredient, so we know it has more peach extract in it than anything else. And then the second one is ginger root. Well, I know what both of those are, but I don't know what I expected about it being in. I just thought it was going to be some new innovative food type item in a butter. But so when I put it down, this is what I get. And then as I attempt to emulsify it to add to the top of the moisturizer, look, it won't emulsify. And all I am doing is just pushing the butter around. It never emulsifies. I'm so disappointed. So, you know, I've had enough bad experiences with products that I knew at that point to stop and to just use something else. This just is not my thing. And I initially was going to make a separate video of reviewing the products because I haven't seen a whole lot of reviews on them, but I don't want to bring attention to it just to, you know, give it so much negativity, because somebody else might like that. They may like that consistency. That smoothie may give them moisture. They may have a total different experience with this butter. And I'm actually going to do a little research after this to see if it is just me. Did I get a bad batch, or is this just kind of what it's supposed to do? I'm really, really surprised because, you know, I love Honey's Handmade. I love, love, love every conditioner. I love the leave-in. My gosh, the co-wash is awesome. But I said before that I haven't had a whole lot of luck with their stylers because their products are very smooth and it's not very thick. And the only one that I've been able to really use that has given me the results I absolutely love is the kids line, the detangling chocolate cream. And so the other stylers have never really worked for me. So anyway, that is the next tip. When you go to use a product, especially on a wash day, and you know that this is not what your hair is supposed to feel like, it is doing something bizarre, and you are not going to be able to fix it. Like if you're getting frizz, if you moisturize the hair and feel like it's not getting moisturized, if you know, see a lot of product on top of your hair that is not absorbing in, like, you just got to know when to hold them and when to fold them, right? And that to me is a situation where you just stop. You just stop. You don't go any further. You don't question yourself. You trust your intuition. That is probably not going to be a product for you. And so those are not. They will probably, I will probably just chunk these. I'll probably just throw them away. I wouldn't even give them to anybody. That's just how little I trust them to help somebody else. And I don't want to put anybody else in a bad position where they're upset like I am. So anyway, what I decided to do was to switch the styling to, I did pick up another Honey's Handmade product. I'm an optimist, like I like to try. And so I use this coffee cocoa curl custard. Now I have seen this before, and when I originally saw this product, I saw that people were using it on top of a leave-in. So they use the leave-in, use this custard on top, twist up, and go. Got a fabulous style. But I had used this before like that and knew right off the bat, again, it was not enough moisture for my thick hair. So I have to use this as a moisturizer. Other people were using it as a styler, sealer. It is a moisturizer to me. So on top of the leave-in, I use this coffee cocoa curl custard. And on top of that, I knew I needed a butter at that point. And so I actually decided to go with the Soultanicals. Can't believe it's not butter. Because my hair was still wet and really, really damp, I knew that I needed a butter, but I knew that it couldn't be anything hard. It needed to be a very, very smooth butter. So the ingredients in the Soultanicals butter is mango butter, shea butter, castor oil, meadow foam seed oil, coconut milk, rice bran oil. There's coconut oil, BTMS, cetyl alcohol. Very, very good ingredients. And so look how thick it is. So it's a butter, but it is not that thick kind that you just can't emulsify. It is very lightweight looking. It's thick enough that, if it'll focus, it is thick enough that it will hold moisture in, and it's probably actually thick enough that it would have moisturized by itself. But I just felt better putting on a thinner moisturizer first and then topping it with this. So this was the perfect consistency to use with hair that is as damp as mine was. I didn't show you the coffee cocoa custard, which smells just like a blend of coffee and cocoa. You can get a whiff of both of it in there, but let me get that hair out of there. It's so nasty. So this is what this looks like. It feels amazing, and it is very lightweight. And so you see, you can just look and see how much thinner that is. That is the custard, and this is the butter. So I always go for a product like this to moisturize with, because it has smaller molecules and they will definitely absorb into my hair better. And this is thicker. Larger molecules will block things from going in or out. So this, I can seal it in. I am really struggling today with this focus. This will seal it in well enough that the moisture will stay in. So that is what I ultimately had to switch to. I am just now finishing up these twists. You guys said that you like the middle part, and my gosh, it is so much easier to do. I almost felt like it was faster. That may just be in my mind, but I decided to go with this middle part again, and I've twisted it all up, and I am going to probably sit under the dryer for 20-30 minutes while I respond to you guys' comments, and then I'll let it air dry the rest of the way, and I'll come back to show you what it looks like. I already just feel better with this. As I was applying this, it did just what I felt like the other one wasn't doing. I felt like it was moisturized. The cuticle layer laid down, so I was able to kind of see the shine. It felt very soft. There was just a whole different feel to it, and so I believe I'm going to get better results out of this, and if not, I'll figure it out from there. So you guys, have you heard of anybody using this peach, ginger, and quinoa protein line yet? If you have, let me know if you've used it. Let me know and what's been your experience with it. So a couple of tips that I wanted to give you that I thought about along the way. I gave you the one about the dryer. And then this one was about knowing your hair, knowing what it's supposed to feel like, knowing what moisturized hair feels like on your head, because it may be totally different for you from somebody else. And you just can't force it just because it works for somebody else. If you know it's not working for you, then it's just not working for you. Everything is not for everybody. And the other tip I had was, can't even remember what it was now. Maybe it'll come back to me and I'll pop back on here and tell you if I think about it. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry. So I wanted to show you how I dry and stretch my hair at the same time, in case any of you are new and didn't see that in one of the other videos. This is one of the things that I do to keep down a lot of shrinkage. Well, some shrinkage, is not a lot. So I take this entire section. I know some people that pin this up one by one, but I'm not doing that. I take this entire section of hair and pull it all the way to the other side. And I split this open and I find a way to pin this hair at the roots on the other side. So I'm just going to bobby pin this down. And then now I have to feel for the hair that was originally on the left side. That's going And I'm going to take this and I'm going to pin it on to your right side. I can take a pin. I don't worry about the back as much. I'm okay with the back being a little shorter because it's winter and I definitely wear a coat out when I'm going out these days. And so sometimes if this is hanging long, it gets caught in scarves or coats, or, you know, there's so much friction against clothing. And so I don't care if that part is actually short. So I just do the top. And as I sit under the dryer, I will let it stay like this during the time that I'm up under the dryer, because it will dry this hair up front faster anyway. And this going up under the dryer is going to allow most of the products to absorb. And then once I get from under the dryer, I'll take the pins back out and let it fall straight and let it air dry the rest of the way. That's way, you know, my hair has had time to get rid of the crinkles or any little, you know, prints or ridges that are going to be in my hair from the pins. Okay, is that a video worth of tips? I hope so. I know you probably already knew most of them, so I will probably go ahead and just end this video, and I will come back and to tell you about the products that I actually used, maybe in another video. I'll see. If it's worth a separate video, then I'll do that. But if not, I'll just cut this one here. And if I don't come back, then thank you so much for listening. And I hope this was helpful to you. If it is helpful to somebody you may know, please feel free to share it. Comment down below if there's something you want to say, or if you have any hacks or tips for wash day that you would like to share. We would love those. If we could all do that, and then we can all kind of help each other a little bit, that would be wonderful. I appreciate your time, guys. And as usual, I will see you tomorrow as we continue Black History Feature. Clearly I wasn't done. I thought of something else, you guys, and this is probably the most important tip of everything I just said. I can't even believe I left it out. If you are low porosity, especially, anybody can do this, but if you are low porosity, as you have probably heard hundreds and hundreds of times, your hair needs a little bit of heat to raise the cuticle layer so that moisture can get down into your strands. And one of the things that you can do to help the penetration of that deep conditioner is to heat your deep conditioning treatments. I don't see this done as much as I used to, and it is just like this extra step you can do if you just want some extra pampering, right? This is not required. You can put your conditioner on and sit up under the hair dryer, but on a day, maybe when I've got the house to myself and I just want an extra treat, one of the things I will do is to take say this is a deep conditioner, and there's several ways you can do it. I'll just tell you mine, and you can share yours here at the bottom, actually, in the comment section. I'd love to know what you do. You can take the deep conditioner, and I'm looking for a bigger bowl, and add some water to a container and heat the water, obviously, and put your conditioner in the hot water to warm up your conditioner. So when you go to dip into your conditioner, I usually take a plastic spoon and just mix it up. So now the conditioner is warm and it is at its absolute most absorbable texture. It is at the perfect place to absorb into your hair strands. So you can either do this to heat it. I've known people who just scoop out some of the conditioner and put it in a bowl and heat the conditioner itself for a few seconds. But the thing that I do, because so many of our deep conditioners come in plastic, and some of the harder plastic from some of the companies, I'm trying to find one that's a little bit more sturdy. You can kind of tell with the plastic. Some of them are very thin. This one would not hold up in a microwave. And you kind of have to just determine, because there are different levels of these. But what I do sometimes is to take my conditioner and pour it into a glass bowl. I have a little glass bowl. I'm just going to use this one for symbolism. So I take the mask, I put it in this glass bowl, and I sit the glass bowl on top of my coffee mug warmer. This is the most awesome thing. So this is my little Mr. Coffee mug warmer. And so it's used to keep coffee warm. So I use it to keep my conditioner warm. So while I go ahead and put this on like the second I am getting ready to start my wash day. So before I even wash my hair, I take that glass bowl, put my conditioner in it, and I turn this on and I let it sit on this warmer the entire time until I'm ready to use it. By the time I am ready to use it, oh my gosh, the conditioner is so soft. It is like a melted butter that's not melted all the way, but it has started to not to the point where it's liquefied. That's too much, but because this doesn't, it's not so hot that it will liquefy the conditioner, which is why I tell people don't microwave it or don't put it on any direct heat. But this, because it just literally keeps it warm. So it keeps it warm so that when I go to put it on, it just glides through. It is so soft. And the feeling of that conditioner being warm, it just instantly absorb into your hair. And so if you put the warm conditioner on your hair, that is the exact same thing as putting the conditioner on and then sitting up under a heat source, under a dryer or conditioning cap, because again, the conditioner is already warm, so it is going to absorb into your hair immediately. In situations like that, you may not have to sit with the conditioner on, but maybe 5 minutes, however long you prefer, but no more than 5 minutes and your hair will already be conditioned and ready to be rinsed out. So if you go and find any little thing like this is just a little extra something you can add to your wash day that will just give your conditioner a little boost. And who doesn't want their deep conditioner to just go to the next level, right?